She was supposed to be invisible, you know? I mean, 5 years scrubbing marble floors of the Langston Grand. And not once did anyone guess that the quiet night janitor with a soft smile had a doctorate in linguistics and could swap between 9 languages without blinking. Naomi Brooks, that's me, hiding right out in the open, just another set of hands, pushing a cleaning cart, hoping nobody ever looked too close. That was the plan. Blend in, keep your head down, and maybe, just maybe, catch a trace of my missing sister, Lena, before the world figure out who I really was. Funny thing about plans, they unravel when you least expect it. It started on a Tuesday. Hotel CEO Christopher Langston was stalking down the hall after some disastrous dinner meeting. Meanwhile, I was mopping up a spill when a kid started bawling in Dutch, lost and scared stiff. I knelt down, told her to be all right in perfect Dutch, then swapped to German for a group of confused tourists, tossed in some Mandarin to help out a pack of cranky business travelers. That's when Langston caught sight of me, and suddenly I was on his radar, like a bird in the open with a hawk overhead. "You really speak all those languages?" he asked later, eyes narrowed like he was reading a code. "Yeah, idol. Is that a problem?" I shot back because, let's be real, people get suspicious when you're not who you seem. But he just looked impressed, switched to French, then German, even tried his luck in Mandarin. I answered back, maybe with a hint of a grin. His Mandarin was rough, bless him, but the effort counted. He kept pressing. "Where'd you learn it all? Why hide your skills behind a mop?" That's the thing with curious people, they don't know when to stop asking. Every night after that, I felt him watching. I tried to keep my routine saying hi to Jorge at the desk, slipping little language lessons into our late-night chats, fixing up translation mistakes on the emergency exit signs. I didn't want attention, but I couldn't help myself when I saw people struggling, Japanese tourists worried about their diet, French couples fighting over vacation plans. It's like, if you can help, shouldn't you? Even if it's risky. Jorge, the bellboy, started calling me Ms. Languages, told me I should teach, not clean. He was studying hard for some scholarship, and I helped him out, tutoring between shifts. He didn't know anything about my real life, or the box of secrets stashed in locker 847. A battered journal, old ID cards, newspaper clippings about Lena, who'd vanished 3 years earlier. Just the sort of collection that could ruin you if the wrong eyes saw. One night, I found a postcard slipped through the locker, vent Bangkok skyline. Cyrillic scribble, "She is still alive." Bangkok. My hand shook. 3 years of nothing, and now this? I barely had time to process before Langston was at it again, talking about moving me to guest services, asking Jorge about my past. Jorge didn't know a thing, just knew I spoke languages, helped guests, made the place better. But Evelyn, Langston's assistant, smelled something off. She dug into my personnel file, bare bones. No history, just a name and an emergency contact. I could see the questions piling up in her eyes. It all blew open the night of the gala. Langston called me in as a cultural liaison, said I'd be helping out, translating, making international guests feel at home. I put on my best dress, kept my chin up, and did my job. Portuguese for a Brazilian delegation, Japanese for the financiers, smoothing things over between Koreans and Germans. I was in my element, for once not hiding, just being me. But across the ballroom, a Japanese businessman watched me too closely, Mr. Tikata, sharp as a tack. "You remind me of someone," he said. "Dr. Lena Brooks." I played dumb, but my insides twisted. When Langston asked about it, I brushed him off, but he wasn't fooled. Later, I found a photo of Lena under the break room door, plus a fragment of a classified doc. Linguistic pattern analysis for behavioral modification. My heart went cold. Someone knew exactly who I was. Jorge caught me staring at that photo, and the truth tumbled out about Lena, about my own past, how I'd worked for the UN, how I'd been hiding after Lena's disappearance because I'd started poking into things better left alone. "If there's a chance she's alive, you'll go after her," Jorge said, dead serious. "Even if it means giving up everything." He was right. By then, Langston was pushing for answers. I finally told him. Lena and I both worked on a project called the Cultural Bridge Initiative, meant to help peacekeepers communicate, but twisted into a tool for surveillance and manipulation. Lena tried to expose it. She vanished in Thailand. I ran, changed my name, became invisible. Langston listened, actually listened, and promised to help. But before we could plan, Evelyn's background check tripped an alarm at Silas Corp, a security firm with way too much interest in me. Suddenly, black SUVs were outside the hotel. I ducked out the fire escape, snatching a cryptic message, Storage Unit 247, Riverside Self-Storage. Everything you need to know about Thailand. In that dusty storage unit, I found Marcus Webb's video had been Lena's handler, and now he warned that Lena was alive but held in a facility off Bangkok. Silas Corp wanted both of us for a new round of behavioral research. Worse, what started as a rescue mission turned into a war. We had to stop them from using our technology to control people on a global scale. I pulled Jorge and Langston in. Jorge, turns out, wasn't just a bellboy, had whistleblower contacts in Thailand. We connected with Somchai, a fixer with boats, contacts, and rumors about an island where prisoners like Lena were kept. Armed with stolen blueprints, we planned the impossible. Infiltrate, rescue Lena, gather evidence. You want a twist? Jorge confessed he'd once exposed a labor trafficking ring knew how to hide in plain sight, just like me. People, man, they surprise you. The break-in was chaos, dark water, narrow tunnels, guards everywhere. Inside, I found Lena, drugged but alive, forced to improve the very tool she'd tried to destroy. We freed her and a dozen other prisoner scientists, coders, all stolen for their brains. The chief of security cornered us, mouthing off about using language to prevent wars. But we knew what it really was. Mind control dressed up as progress. We fought our way out, smoke bombs, alarms blaring, guards closing in. I stayed behind to upload every shred of data to the outside world. If I didn't make it, at least the truth would get out. Lena got the others to safety. Just before Silas Corp's goons burst in, I sent one last broadcast. Evidence to the media, the UN, human rights watchdogs. Tell the world what they're doing, I said, and let myself hope it would be enough. Miracle of miracles, I made it out. 3 weeks later, we were holed up in the Hamptons, organizing a mountain of evidence. Jorge got his scholarship, Lena testified to the UN, Langston risked everything to support us. But the battle wasn't over. Silas Corp planned to use their tech to manipulate a global symmetry right economic policy, reshape politics with a few well-placed phrases. So we turned the tables, hijacked their translation system at the summit, broadcast a warning to every delegate. You are being manipulated. Suddenly, world leaders tore out their earpieces, demanded answers, and the house of cards collapsed. Evelyn, who'd set Silas Corp on me, switched sides and risked her life to help us finish the job. Langston lost his company, but didn't regret it. He turned the hotel into the Langston Institute for Linguistic Ethics, real mouthful, and made me its director. We trained new generations to spot and stop linguistic manipulation. Lena built safeguards for AI translators. Jorge developed apps to warn users about shady language patterns. The world changed. Laws passed protecting cognitive liberty, your right to think and decide for yourself. But new threats kept popping up, each one a little slicker than the last. I stopped hiding. Instead, I walked the halls of what used to be my hiding place, helping others see what I'd spent years trying to reveal. Language is power. And if you're not careful, someone will use it to steal your freedom before you even know what you've lost. So, yeah, maybe I started out as a janitor, invisible by choice, but that's not the ending. The real story is about what you do when nobody's watching, about risking everything for someone you love, about finding your strength in the cracks of your fear, about stepping into the light when the world wants you to stay quiet. Let me ask you, what would you give up to protect someone you love? Would you risk your safety? Your identity? Everything you've built, just for the chance to set things right? You know what I mean? Maybe that's what makes us human in the end. Not the languages we speak, but the truths we refuse to bury. If you made it this far, tell me, where's the line between protection and control, between justice and revenge? Is it possible to build a world where words heal instead of hurt? Drop your thoughts below, because I have a feeling this conversation is just getting started.